I'm Elisa Parker. We are capturing some of the wildest moments at the Wild and Scenic Film Fest. It's our 13th annual Wild and Scenic Film Festival. And so it's to introduce you about some of the best parts of the festival in Nevada City and Grass Valley, and some of our amazing guests who I call like just everyday extraordinary action heroes. And with me I have Suzanne Crocker. She is the filmmaker and actually participates in the film called All the Time in the World. We're hanging out at Broad Street Cafe, which, when you think about all the time in the world, right? You just hang out in the cafe. It's an amazing day, having a cup of tea or coffee. What do you love to do when you have all the time in the world? Besides hanging out in the Yukon off the grid for 9 months.
Yeah, I like to hang out with my kids and read stories out loud or sit outside in nature and just be.
So, Suzanne, tell us a little bit about your film, All the Time in the World, and how you ended up in the Yukon, in the bush, in Alaska, with no electricity, nothing, no people, just your family.
So life was hectic, like often is with 3 kids and 2 busy parents, and we just didn't have any luck finding a way of finding enough time in our lives. So we decided we would just give up on the structure of time to get the freedom of time, and we left jobs, we left technology and electricity and internet and even all clocks and watches behind, and went and lived in the Yukon bush for 9 months over the winter in a tiny 18 by 18 cabin that you couldn't drive to, and with our 3 kids and 2 cats and a dog, and just saw what happened.
Okay, so Suzanne, why the Yukon? Like, why did you, of all the places you guys could pick in the world to unplug and bring your family, why did you want to go to Alaska? Like, I mean, really, when we talk about the wildest place, this is totally wild. Like, it would get what, below like 50 degrees? Am I making that up, or what? It was really cold.
Yeah, our coldest day was minus 51.
Okay, so it was very cold.
Yeah, and a big part of the winter stretches of minus 40. So why the Yukon? I mean, it was convenient because our regular on-grid home is in the Yukon. So that's how we discovered this cabin in the middle of nowhere, and so that part wasn't a long stretch. So I guess that's why the Yukon. But the Yukon, is this amazing place that is mostly wilderness. There's about 35,000 people in all of the Yukon, in a territory as big as Alaska, and 30,000 of those people live in Whitehorse.
What was the wildest thing that happened to you? I know there was a bear that came out and was just like hanging out and not going away. I would assume that would be pretty wild, but what was the wildest thing for you guys?
I think we probably all have a different perspective on that. For me, the thing that was the most difficult was occasionally my husband would make the trek back to town, and we didn't have any way of knowing how he was doing. He had to travel by skidoo on a long stretch of river that was always changing, and even though you'd think it would always be frozen, it wasn't always frozen, and where it would thaw was sometimes under the snow and you couldn't see, so off he would go, and he has this great habit of having an adventure no matter what he does, and so he often wouldn't come home on the day that he was supposed to. So you're sitting there in the cabin in the middle of the bush with your 3 young kids, and he doesn't come back when he's supposed to, and you have no way of knowing if he's in trouble, if he's safe or alive, and that part to me was the hardest. I think that if we did it again, which I would love to do, I think we would try and do it so that he didn't have to ever leave. And
yeah,
we didn't have
because that would be nerve-wracking. What would be your message to everyone? We were just talking to Jeremy Collins of Drawn, and about how important it is, like even when you have kids, that we still need to live our life, right? Mm-hmm. We still need to take the risk and have the courage to like get out of our comfort zone. So, Suzanne, what would be your message to everyone who's thinking like, that could never be possible for me, to either go live off the grid in the bush in Alaska, or even just to go live in another country or somewhere that doesn't seem familiar to ourselves? Mm-hmm. What would you want to tell them about that, and why it's so important to actually take that risk and get out?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think the most important thing is just to remember that we don't have all the time in the world, and to make the most of the moments that we do have for the things that really matter. And if that is just unplugging the technology for an hour and playing a board game with your kids, or just going into the outdoors and leaving your cell phone at home for an hour. I mean, I think these are all super, super important things.
I would think maybe one of the wildest things you've done is going out and, off the grid with your family and your 3 young kids. But what is the wildest thing you've ever done to make a difference in the world?
Well, I think we make a difference from the ground up. And I think often it's how we live our own lives and how we interact with others that then has a domino effect, I would hope. That makes the world a better place. And so in my life, I have tried to live as sustainably as possible. But I think a big lesson that I'm leaving the next generation is just with my kids, and that they have grown up not spending time on technology, and so they have the ability to use their imagination and to entertain themselves and to troubleshoot for themselves. And I'm hoping that will make the next generation help keep the planet a place where they can all enjoy it.
That was one of the favorite part about my films, All the Time in the World, was just to see the relationship, not just even with your husband, but also with your children and how they interacted with each other. To be in a cabin for days and days on end, it was beautiful to see how their relationships flourished between all of you. I mean, I highly encourage everyone to, now I'm going to have to walk the talk, but even if it's for a week, to unplug and get out with your kids and your family, right? And my last question is, a statement, if you can complete this statement: I'm wild for.
I'm wild for my kids, and I'm wild for a planet where people still remember and realize the importance of interpersonal interactions. And I hope that we don't become a totally plugged-in world 24/7.
Yeah, thank you so much, Suzanne, for bringing your film to all of us at Wild and Scenic, and for the incredible work you're doing, and just to demonstrate to all of us that literally don't have all the time in the world, but when you take those moments to unplug, that's when some of the best things in our life can happen. And Suzanne brought her daughter, Tess, who's hanging out here with, part of Wild and Scenic is connecting families with each other, and Tess has made a friend with Kylie here. It's just all part of the magic of Wild and Scenic. Thank you so much, Suzanne. Have an incredible time at the festival.
Thank you. We are having an incredible time, and it's really a great honor and treat to be here, so thank you.
Great. Thanks so much.